Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I am your host, David Streggy, and here I have another review for you from a director by the name of Eric Stanze, um, who has directed such films as Savage Harvest, Rat Line, and quite a few others, which eventually I will go back and give a review of each of these. And I believe he's also done an underground film called Scrapbooks, which I know that there are some independent lovers out there for that film as well, and vice versa. So let me get into the film. This is his newest film. It's called In Memory of, and it came out with a 2-disc Blu-ray edition. He signed it for those who bought it. It was about $25, $30 with shipping, which I suppose wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a little pricey, but you know what? It could have been just as pricey as the Barn, which eventually I'll go back and review from a different director. So we have a young lady by the name of Jackie, who has a dissociative disorder, and because she does, and because her family has, she somehow becomes part of an experiment, and at the end of the experiment, it appears that there are like several other people that were involved in the experiment. She finds that she's on the run, and so this is kind of a road movie, where evidently much of what is happening in the film is what memories that she has buried in her mind. So we have we actually have it's not the character of Jackie. The actress's name is Jackie Kelly, and she plays a character by the name of Amber Sheridan. And she apparently, her mother had the same disease that she has, and died. Evidently, from what she knows, her father has abandoned her, and so her aunt, who has the same disorder, has raised her since she was an early age. So she has memories of kindness and growing up with her aunt, and we see some of this during the abstract beginning. And apparently, she, like I said, Amber has gone through an experiment of some sort to try to fix her mind, fix her brain, and somehow all of the people involved in the experiment have been murdered, as far as or killed, as far as she knows. So in her mind, she evidently experiences a character which eventually became known as Simon Dyer. And Simon is played by Jason Christ, who also directed Savage Harvest 2 and several other films of his own. But he plays kind of like a gatekeeper of her mind throughout the whole film. She has to meet along certain spots and routes to find each memory that she has lost, because evidently much of her mind was stored away inside her mind, and there's a symbol of a clock that I believe that her aunt had given her, that once she finds this watch, she can bury that memory of that person. And I think that I think in a sense, she goes through uh, a sort of like journey of her own different hells. From what I gather, uh, Amber has had a relationship with a boyfriend who has cheated on her. So I think um, there is references to possibly the boyfriend being a pornography videographer who tapes her uh, 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 messing around with different characters, and I believe that that's one of her memories, that evidently she was forced into this life of being a porn star or whatnot. And maybe I'm getting it wrong, but dealing with some of the memories of, you know, betrayal and having to lead a life of that magnitude. She had to bury each of those, and I think it was very interesting that there were some black and white sequences where each time she found a memory or uncovered a memory, there was a black and white sequence where it seemed like there was someone burying each of the people or characters that were involved in the experiment that she was part of. And ultimately, it led to the more terrifying memory of what she actually did and why the experiment went on to begin with, and who was involved in pushing her to go into this experiment, or at least orchestrating the experiment in general. So it was definitely a very beautiful film. It was very nightmarish. There was definitely some levels of humanity that I think she was trying to piece together from some of the bandaged patients that maybe she might have seen in a hospital at one point in time. But it was definitely a unique film, and I think this was one of my favorite films of the year so far, independent-wise. And I would definitely recommend this for other horror film fanatics. It's definitely a visual experience. I mean, you see different things in this woman's life, and things that she has to overcome just to find, you know, find herself. And it's just kind of an exploratory journey of, you know, what memories were or had to be buried so far in her mind to have her have this disease. So it was definitely a mind trip to go through. But I enjoyed the experience. I was entertained by the film, and I think that it was definitely a revolutionary choice by Eric Stanze. And I also like that Adam Albrandt, who is the director of The Cemetery and The Burned House. I like how all three of these guys kind of got together and created this this film. I mean, Adam Albrandt plays Darren, which I believe he's one of the characters that was involved in the experiment. So I would definitely like to see more from this cast and group of characters. I think this was a well thought out film. It definitely had some interesting locations. Um, it definitely had some interesting concepts, and my mind is just still trying to cope with cope with the awesomeness of it. So, in any case, hopefully you enjoyed my description of the film. Um, I definitely think it was very unique. It was definitely a work of art, and I think this is the work that I I think it is a work of beauty, and I think it was carefully put together, and the fact that it was released to the public, it's kind of a thrill to watch, because I think he made this for himself, and the fact that I think that the public would definitely love this film. Um, it, there are no words that I can really describe this film. You just have to watch it yourself. In any case, hopefully you've enjoyed my description of the film. Hopefully you like and subscribe to our channel, and I will definitely have some more amazing reviews for you to listen to, and hopefully you enjoy your day or morning or whatever you're doing at this point in time. So thank you for listening, and I enjoyed talking about the film.